Hey guys, welcome to Skin, Self, and Everything Else podcast, our very first podcast, and we are ecstatic. I know that I am, and I know you are too, Dr. Turner.
I'm ecstatic, but maybe a little with a little trepidation as well.
It's a big deal. This is like, I feel like we're stepping into our higher calling here
Yeah.
doing this because we have a vision, and that's what we're going to kind of talk about today.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go into introducing who we are, our backgrounds. So we want everybody to get to know who we are and what we're trying to do here. So I think the title says it all. I mean, skin, self, and everything else. We're going to be talking about aesthetics. We're going to talk about life and aesthetics, a day in the life at Dr. Turner's office. We're going to be talking about a day in the life in a treatment room and how to overcome different things. And it's going to be it's going to be a whole plethora of things. And this is all going to tie into the new website that we are doing and training. It's drellenturner.com, where providers can go to learn how to do all the treatment options that we offer to help them become the most success in the practice.
I like it.
Yeah, so a little bit about my background. And by the way, before I get started, I'm very excited to be here doing this with you.
I am excited.
I know Dr. Turner and me go back a long way. It's been 10 years back and forth that we have known each other, and I'm very grateful that the universe has circled us back around to where we could do this together.
Yeah.
So this is very exciting for me to actually be sitting here. 10 years ago, I would have never saw this, and I think this is amazing. You never know where the universe is going to head.
Yeah.
And so a little bit of background about me is, I grew up in a small town outside of Dallas here, and grew up in a lot of land, but out in the country. So that's where hence the accent. That's my background. But aesthetics started calling me probably in my early 20s. I lived in Steamboat Springs, Colorado for a little while because a partner I was with at the time, he worked at the Sheridan Resort, and there was a day spa inside that resort. And I remember I applied for a job there. I got the job just working front desk because when you live on a ski resort, you have to have 30 jobs.
Oh yeah,
It's so
to
expensive.
afford that lifestyle. There.
I mean, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
But when I got that job, I was really intrigued by the esthetician.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like a fun career, And back then, they had no lasers or anything. It was just your foo-foo, chemical peels, facials, the stuff you do at a ski resort.
Mm-hmm.
And so fast forward the tape, I finally had the opportunity to go to school to be an esthetician. Actually, I became a cosmetologist first to become a hairstylist.
Yes.
But my calling, aesthetics, was calling me the whole time. I let somebody else talk me into doing that. I have no idea why I let them do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then after I finished cosmetology school, I tried that out. I hated it. I still wanted to do skin, so I went back to school and just did aesthetics. And so when I was in school, I had met a friend that I'm still good friends with today that had already had a job before she had graduated.
Mm-hmm.
And then after she graduated, she got a job at a doctor's office.
Okay.
And she was excited to be in the land of lasers.
Oh, yes.
And so keeping in mind, whenever I decided to do this career, I had no idea that that's I was thinking I was just going to be doing these relaxing facials all day, and thank God I didn't. Because now, nothing against that. To all those out there that do regular facials, kudos to you. It's amazing. Do you. But for me, I knew the second that I walked into that doctor's office and she had gotten me that job that I was right where I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very grateful for this career. This career has been very kind to me. It has really excelled me. It has been good to me in so many ways in growing as a human being. It has helped. It's been a great living.
Yeah.
And so fast forward it, I was at that job for 5 years, making $25,000 a year.
Wow. Look at you.
Yeah. But here's the thing is I tell estheticians, if you're really serious about this career, and you really want to make something of it, you have to be patient and do your time.
Yeah.
You have to, because that $25,000 a year, was it a struggle? Yes, it was a struggle. Mm-hmm. But I landed such solid experience staying in that role for 5 years and learning it like a sponge, taking it all in. Mm-hmm. And then the next job, I excelled further and I excelled further and I excelled further. And then it just became this fantastic career with endless opportunity.
Yeah.
And so that's when I met you.
Mhm.
Is, after about 4 jobs into my aesthetic career, I had worked for another doctor that was friends with you, and I'd always heard him talk about you. And I was like, who's this Dr. Turner? Because he was Dr. Turner this, Dr. Turner that. And I was like, who is she? And so the universe just, it happened that way, because I also had a friend after I'd heard your name that had started working for you. And we went and had drinks one night. And she goes, I go, where are you working now? She goes, back then it was Derm Laser Institute.
Yep.
And
That's how it started out.
yes, Derm Laser Institute. And so I said, wait, is that Dr. Turner? And she said, yeah. I was like, I used to work for a doctor that knows her. And
Yeah.
so, and then fast forward, I'm working at another job in retail at the time. Um, and our SkinMedica rep at the time, when we were a big SkinMedica account, she brought me to one of your open houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's where we met. And
Yeah.
it just took off from there.
Yeah.
And so I worked for you, I think 4 years before.
Yeah.
And then I got out of the aesthetics, and then I stayed under the aesthetic umbrella, going in and doing dental implants, selling dental implants. But aesthetics always called me back,
Yeah.
and so here we are 10 years later. I'm sitting here with you, doing my dream, doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing. So I'm very glad to be here. But anyway, we're going to have so much to offer. We're going to have so much learning to offer, so much life experience to offer, endless knowledge.
I think we have, between the two of us, like 40 years experience in aesthetics
And then
now.
some.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we have combined a lot of experience that hopefully we can share with the listeners, and not just, like you said, about aesthetics, but just about life stories. I mean, we get a lot of, humorous stories, a lot of
More
humorous
humor than
stories
not, that's for sure.
about patients, about one another. Some weeks are good weeks, and some weeks not so good weeks, because we learn from our mistakes, right?
We do learn from our
We
mistakes.
learn from life and life experiences. So hopefully we'll pass some of that along to you. Um, and at some point, as we get into this podcast, we'll be opening it up to listener questions and that kind of thing, so that as they have things that they want to learn about, we'll be hopefully able to teach those things to the audience. And then we'll be, of course, having guests. Hopefully, our first guest will be Lauren, who is our wonderful esthetician in our office, who was my first ever employee. And
She was, and she's actually worked every single position, I think, in this office. That's what I was going to say.
She's worked every single position in my office, from front desk to medical assistant to now esthetician. She's been in that role the longest, and she's wonderful. So, and she's got some dirt on you, Brandon.
She sure does. We have dirt on each other. All will be exposed in due time, I promise.
I don't say that in a bad way. She's wonderful.
No, she is.
But yeah, so let's go to background on me.
I know, I was about to say.
I think firstly, how did I get into dermatology? And then I would say kind of the aesthetic side of it, because I do both. I do everything in terms of dermatology. I do medical, I do surgical, I do aesthetics, and I love it all. I couldn't see a day where I don't do all of it. But when I was in residency, I was in internal medicine, and anyone knows, if they're a physician, that your internship year is like the worst of the worst. It's just, everybody has to go through that year. And I was in San Antonio, and I was designated to go on and go into internal medicine and become an internist. And then my plan was I was going to be a gastroenterologist. That was my ultimate plan, because I had a really good mentor, a Dr. Priscilla Snodgrass in medical school. She was my mentor, and she was wonderful. She was like this little petite doctor who had, I think it was either 6 or 7 brothers. Anyway, she came from a huge family, but she was the only girl. And so she was tough. She was funny. She was the only female provider in this large practice. And she still made the highest income of all those partners. But anyway, so I wanted to be just like her, only taller. So anyway, so when I got to my intern year, I got to the hospital, and that's where you really spend most of your time as an intern. You don't spend it in the clinic, but I was absolutely miserable. I just didn't like the fact that most of my patients, it seemed like, were just dead or dying, and I didn't like to be in the hospitals. And then when we would go to clinic, I just felt like it wasn't somewhere that I liked to be. I was dealing with a lot of issues like just diabetes and chronic health conditions that I didn't feel like I was making a huge impact. Um, so by November of that year, I was starting to think, well, what else could I do? Maybe I could be a barista at Starbucks. And literally, I talk about things like that with my resident, my senior resident. And he was like, yeah, I'd love to be a barista at Starbucks. And we were like, yeah, we could ride our bicycle to work every day. I mean, we were talking about these crazy dreams after, we'd gone to medical school. And so, um, my mother was the one who said, maybe instead of, being a barista, you might consider a dermatology residency. That might be something you would be good at. So I started doing a couple of rotations when I had the opportunity. Second year of internal medicine and dermatology, both a research year or a research month rather, and a clinical month. And I was actually, after a series of what I would call miracles, I was actually able to get funding and start in the dermatology program when I was supposed to go into my third year of internal medicine. I actually transferred into my dermatology residency as a first year dermatology resident. So that's kind of how things began. If I were to ever try to get into a dermatology residency now, that would never happen. That would just never happen. So I always like to say it was just kind of an interesting turn of events. And also, an interesting turn of events is that Dr. Priscilla Snodgrass had sat me down during medical school and said that she had always wanted to be a dermatologist. And so, when she was planning to match with her husband, that when she got her letter out to see where she had matched in dermatology, turns out she didn't match at all. And so she ended up being a gastroenterologist. So I think it's just an interesting way that life ends up kind of
Mm-hmm.
coming about, and we end up being exactly where we're supposed to be.
I know.
Um,
Yeah.
but as I went through dermatology residency, my faculty in San Antonio, I came from a really small program, and they were not advocating cosmetic at all. In fact, they were kind of anti cosmetic and aesthetic dermatology. So I had to really go out and seek that on my own. I would go out and visit dermatologists in the community, and they were very supportive of me. I got to visit a Dr. Tina Alster in Washington, D.C., who's a laser guru in the field of aesthetics and laser dermatology. So I felt very fortunate that I was really embraced by the community
Mm-hmm.
and by her. Um, and, before I had even moved to Dallas, I had already purchased my first laser. I purchased a Cyton.
Which
Uh,
is an amazing laser, by the way.
I still have it.
That thing
I
is a
still
dinosaur and
have
it
that.
still
It's
goes
still
hard.
ticking. Yeah, it's still
Yes.
ticking 20 years later.
Saiton's amazing.
Um, so, I just feel like this field of aesthetics and dermatology in many ways has been a blessing in my life. And yeah, at this point in my life, I'm looking around and it's like, how can I share this with other people? And so I think this venture, I think you're the one that has kind of been kind of, oh, let's do this podcast. I don't, and I'm like, I don't know about that. And I'm the one that's like, let's do these training videos. And so I think we've kind of melded this into this great idea that hopefully will be beneficial
I
to
know.
a
And what
lot
I
of
love
people.
about it, and what I love about doing this together is, like I said in the beginning, is that we're not going to only talk about aesthetics, which is going to be the most of it. That's the foundation of it. there's so many other things that go with that. I mean, because no matter what career you're in, life takes its toll.
That's right.
And then we're going to, it's going to be fun sharing each other's experience and getting other people on here to learn how to maneuver different challenges that happen. And I'm talking mentally, because
Oh, yeah.
it's a mentally exhausting it's a mentally exhausting train network. I mean, it can be, right? Because,
Yeah,
and
depends on
so,
the day.
I mean, us together being in it as long as we have so many different tools that we can provide people to help them maneuver through that stuff,
That's
and
right.
so it's just going to be so good. I'm so glad that we're able to do this. I'm so glad we're able to help other people become the best that they can possibly be in this industry, because it is a good industry to be in.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one that will take care of you if you take care of it. And the way you take care of it is you have to become knowledgeable.
That's right. You have to be open to learning.
You do.
And it's so, your patients, it's such a rewarding field too, because your patients can be so appreciative, so appreciative.
Very much.
Even the times when you have, for example, like complications that come up, and you will have complications. If you're not having complications, you're not doing enough procedures. But those can be the
You've
most
seen me
rewarding.
cry through a few complications.
Oh.
And one was probably pretty recent. So yeah, I mean, I just had to throw it out there. I mean, just because you did it 20 years, you still have complications.
That's right. That's right. Skin, self, everything else.
Everything
the complications
else.
are everything
Everything else. And yes, exactly.
Oh,
I had told myself 20 years ago when I went to school for this, what I was really looking for was a rich husband, and that didn't
that's
happen.
right. Well, it hasn't happened yet.
Well, I mean, but thank God it didn't, because we wouldn't be here.
That's right.
And
we might not be here.
we wouldn't be here. And I'm excited about drellenturner.com. I'm very excited because other providers are going to be able to go on, get a membership or subscription.
That's right.
And they're going to be able to have all of this knowledge available at their fingertips. You training everything from injectables, laser and lights. We're going to have everything on there. BTL services. Let's talk about that real quick, because BTL services are amazing. And if you don't know what BTL services are, it's M-Sculpt Neo, M-Face, M-Tone, and now apparently some ExoMind.
Yeah, that's a recent launch. It's, they have over 500 engineers, Brandon, that are working to develop new technology at this company. So BTL Technologies is famous for radio frequency and electromagnetic energies. They combine these energies and they make the most marvelous devices. So I'm eager to learn more about this ExoMind that just launched in 2025. Um,
It's supposed to help with like depression and anxiety and sleep and
migraines, tons of different indications. It's just the tip of the iceberg. So it'll be interesting to watch this ExoMind and what it can treat. We have all their other technologies. One thing we've loved is the BTL M face.
It's amazing.
The M face is combining, of course, radio frequency and electromagnetic to lift the underlying tissue of the face, because it's stimulating muscle, and then it's also working on the overlying skin texture and tone. So it's stimulating that collagen and that elastin. You get a 37% wrinkle reduction, and it's completely non-invasive.
It's painless.
It's so incredible that you can do all of this without needles, without pain, without recovery time. So be looking for more information. Every week we're going to be talking and touching base just a little bit about some kind of BTL technology.
There's so much to talk about in every aspect of this industry. I'm very excited to share it. We're so glad to be here. And I mean, I couldn't be doing this with a better dermatologist. I have a personal respect for you.
Thank you.
I do. You have been with me through thick and thin. You have seen me at my worst. You've seen me at my best. And all the while, you still kept me around, and we're still here together. And I'm very grateful for that. And I could not be more excited to do this with anybody else.
Well, I feel the same about you. You are an incredible esthetician, laser technician. Your skill set and your knowledge is it's really amazing. It really is. And your patients love you. I mean, how many patients come out of your room and they look right at me and they're like, I love him. I'm going to keep him. I'm like, Wow, nobody talks about me that way.
Yes, they do.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to keep it light, and it's
Yeah.
it's patient care is, we're going to talk about that too, because
Yeah, we can
what I
talk
mean
about
by that is there's so much I want to cram it all in, because it's our first podcast, so they're probably like, shut up already, but I can't help it, I want to
today.
cram it all in. But
Yeah.
that'll be another thing we talk about, because it's like we're in a field where you're providing excellent customer service that can be freaking exhausting.
It is.
And so we're going to talk about how to maneuver through that, how to get through the ups and the downs. So exciting. But
Let's talk just a little. I want them to get to know you a little bit with each episode, though, Brandon. So I want to ask you 3 questions. What right now is your favorite? I mean, I know you've got tons of favorite
okay.
products, but what's your favorite product right now that you're using on your skin?
Oh my gosh. Can I just name one?
Okay, I'm going to max it
If I
at
had to do
2.
one,
You
it's
can
the
do
ZO
2.
growth factor.
The ZO growth
It's
factors.
hydrating. It's a
Okay.
beautiful product, and it's for all skin types. I'm very oily, and oily people tend to shy away from serums.
Right.
Not this one,
Right.
because it helps control the oil production, but more importantly, it's a plant-based collagen stimulator. So I absolutely love it. Every single person on the planet should be on the growth factor, period.
Yeah.
I mean, that just goes along with their SPF and their vitamin C. Those
Yeah.
are the 3 components. But
Yeah.
those are the other ones. I cheated a little bit. Threw those in there.
You threw those in there.
But if I had to choose one,
It would be
number
the
one would be the ZO growth factor.
Okay. And then favorite procedure right now in the moment. I know you've got like so many, but favorite procedure right now that you're loving.
I'm going to say M-Face.
Okay. All right.
And
That's
especially,
fair.
and here's the thing with
fair.
M-Face eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, because they just launched that. They keep launching these different parts of the face, which is amazing.
Okay.
And so now they just launched, as you know, the under eye applicators, and we're seeing great results. I've treated you. You love it.
Love it.
Yeah. And so, I mean,
like you've got dark circles, you've got bags under your eyes, crow's feet.
Yes.
You want to get M-Face
and
eyes.
everybody who doesn't have that.
Yeah, who doesn't have that?
So it's painless.
Okay.
Everybody thinks just to get good correction that you have to go through these certain procedures that are so painful.
Yeah, no,
you can
not the aesthetics market now.
Right, it's advanced. You can get the same results, but you doing multiple treatments.
Right.
We don't have to go all the way to the finish line with one session.
Tell me how long an M-Face eye treatment lasts. I mean, like, how long does it take to do it?
20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, come on, who doesn't have 20 minutes?
20 minutes. You come in, you're in, you're out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's so quick, it's so easy. And guess what? You hook them up, and then you could step out and do other things and do double the work there. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's M-Face is amazing. That's my favorite.
Okay. And this is a little funny one-off. We're always talking. So, we get these reps, that come and bring us lunch. Sometimes, maybe like 2-3 times a week.
Do you want to say who the worst one is? I'm just kidding.
No.
That's not what
We're not talking about people. No, we're not talking about people. What's your favorite lunch that a rep brings? Because we have some of the same lunches, and So, what's your favorite lunch? Don't think too hard. Come on.
I'm not trying to think too hard. Okay. I'm on this health kick, right?
Yeah.
So I try to work out on the daily. I try to. I'm doing pretty good. I've been doing it for about 2 years.
You look great, by the way.
Yeah, stop.
You do.
No, I'm just kidding.
Those arms look bigger.
It's the M-tone. With the M-tone. All that M-tone. And we'll talk about that too. This exhausting. That's a workout itself. But honestly, I love all the stuff that I shouldn't be saying on a podcast, because it's Mexican food, anything Mexican food, chips, salsa, yes, fajitas,
chicken enchiladas,
all of it. But then I go and I feel like I have to run 10 miles because I ate it, So I'm trying to practice better eating habits.
All right.
I don't think I'll succeed.
Well, we do live in Texas. So.
We do live in Texas. Right. As a matter of fact, you've got me craving it now.
What was that place? I'd never even heard of it, that you and Jasmine were like, oh, yeah. Was it Chilosa?
Chiloso.
Oh, my
gosh. It's amazing.
Queso. Ooh, yum.
And I live close to it.
Yeah. I'd never even heard of it. I'm like, oh, I'm hungry for that queso. So.
Wait. What's your favorite procedure?
Well, right now.
I'm like, we're not going to get away from that.
Right now. Like, there's so many things. So many. But honestly, I'm going to have to say Sculptra.
I
So listen, I had seriously gotten away from Sculptra in the face. Like I was injecting this stuff. I got it FDA approved as a resident at the VA in San Antonio
Mhm.
for HIV positive patients for their lipoatrophy in the face. Because think about it, HIV patients, great bone structure, but they at the time were the meds they were on back. I mean, telling you how old I am now. Oh
Uh,
Lord, 25 years. This was 25 years ago. So I like went to the formulary board in San Antonio and I would sit at this meeting of like 20 people who were responsible for getting medications on the formulary for the VA. And I was like fighting for getting Sculptra on board. And then I was also learning how to inject on these sweet little HIV patients who could get it approved, and so I would actually learn on the little HIV patients. And I was even sneaking them in the back door of some lady's clinic in San Antonio. She had an all female clinic. That was her patient population, that was her preference. But these were male patients. And so she was like, okay, you can bring them to my office, but they can't come in through the lobby. They got to come through the back door and you got to get them in the exam rooms and stuff without the females seeing them. So I was like, okay, the coast is clear. You can bring them in now.
oh,
And so,
right.
so once they were in the room, they were fine. And then she'd come in and teach me how to inject them. And so now, and then I'd gotten away from it because we do now a totally different kind of constitution and all of this. But I'm loving it. And then I injected you not that long ago.
Oh
I
my gosh,
injected
I love
myself
it.
that not that long ago, and Iris, and we've started injecting
I
several of
love
our
it.
patients. So yeah, I'm loving it as the biostimulator of collagen.
Right. That's what I was about to say. For those of you that don't know Sculptura, it's a biostimulator, and it's like more and more people are doing those now.
Yeah,
And it just stimulates it plants collagen seeds and
love
it
it.
grows over time. And so if you incorporate that with other treatments like an M-Face, oh my gosh, your results are going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
And that's we're going to also have conversations about that, how to be thinking outside the box with doing treatment plans, how to
combinations.
combination therapies, that's
Combos you
key.
like. Yeah,
I feel like a lot of estheticians or a lot of providers, not just estheticians, providers in general that do aesthetics, they they lack, not all, but I feel like the ones that some people struggle with being able to think outside of the box
creativity
and to
maybe.
create and to be able to really know how to recommend combination therapies. We're going to talk about all of it,
Yeah,
so I can't cram it in at all, but what we did it our first podcast.
that was it.
I mean, that's it. Oh
It's
my gosh, I was sweating all day about this, and now I'm like, okay, this is not so bad,
skin, self,
and
everything
everything
else.
else. Yep. And everybody, please, I'm going to say it over and over and over. I'm so excited about this. We've worked so hard on it to provide knowledge for other people out there. drellenturner.com is where you can go and learn how to be the best provider that you can possibly be. It's worth every single penny. We put so much into it. You will love it.
And then we're going to drop this podcast every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
All right.